What is going on, guys? Rondo Khan, first in, or first comment. Nice. Nice. What's going on? MagFed Jeff, Timothy Brooks, Chris Kelly, Larry Torres, Javier. What is going on, guys? No sound. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me or no? Okay. Alright, so it's probably just yours. I don't know. Alright. You guys know me, and my production skills are definitely below par. Alright, guys. Good to see all of you guys. Happy New Year. This is the first MFW show since the New Year. And what a year it was. A lot of things happened this year. I'm waiting for KT. Won't go too far into the show without him. But we're going to talk about the lightning bolt today. We just released that. We're super excited about that. So many people asking us when that was going to be released, and finally we're able to do it. And we're going to talk about that today. That'll probably take up the entire episode. We're getting closer with the shape projectiles. We're going to update you guys. We're just waiting. They are adjusting the issue that we had with it. With the tail. And once we get that, done, they're going to send those to us ASAP, and then we're going to be able to make those adjustments, and then we'll start doing some testing and releasing the media videos and things like that. And we'll probably go live on some of the tests and to show you what we're doing and really what works best. But we'll update you guys as soon as possible with that. KT just came in.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
So
good to see you.
I was telling him, I was saying Happy New Year. This is the first episode of the new year, 2018.
Episode 48?
Yeah, 48. So we have 2 more episodes until the 50, and we will have something for you guys. Then, 2017. What happened in 2017? Just a quick recap. We had
oh man,
the PTR. PTR was a big one. We had a lot of traveling this year. We talked about that last week and the week before a little bit. I think we've done more traveling this year than any of the years combined. I think. What else? What was a milestone for us?
Milestone. I think
PTR was a big one.
PTR was a huge one. Any of the kits come out this year? Or was last year?
No, it was last year.
Last year, okay.
So we had the Bolt in 2016.
Okay.
We had that was the last
Vortex,
of it, the Vortex.
Vortex and Blizzard come out. I think 15, 16. A bunch of them come out at the same time. But it's been a great year. I think the biggest transition that we did on 2017, obviously, from RAV4 to MCS.
Yeah, that was.
I think that's the biggest transition that we did. The website, we spent, I think, so much hours, and I spent a lot of hours on that. Built the site from the ground up. So it's a lot of work putting the website together. Now it's running smoothly. I think it's I would say a decent transition, not a great transition. I think we could have done a lot better. We would have a little bit more resources, but with the manpower and what we have here, we did the best we can to transition the website. That's tough to do.
I think from personal level, I think you knocked it out of the park with,
thanks.
with the website. Like,
oh man!
Like from where we were, like when I first started the company, and having to like the back end and slow in some places, and then a lot of the information was kind of difficult to keep up.
Right.
But with Shopify, I mean, pretty much learned it from you when we first, like within the first week, I had it down like the basics, and then slowly here and there. I mean, there's so much learning that goes on
right.
from Shopify as a whole, which is great. And there's tons of resources that we utilize
right.
to make our lives a little bit easier here and there.
Well,
why does it say lost connection?
Lost connection.
It's on a webcast. Alright.
It's like, scratch your head.
See if that comes back.
See?
Oh, okay, we're back.
We're
all right.
connected, but...
What do I tag the customer if I need to do the cart thing?
Admin.
Thank you.
All right, so can you guys see us? Yeah, we're back on. All right, okay. We're good. All right, I don't know what happened there. Lost connection. All right. So anyway, yeah, One Piece Upper was 2017.
One Piece Upper
And Gen 2 Javelin.
Oh yeah, that definitely.
There was a lot of we did a lot of shit this year. We did a lot of stuff. Holy smokes!
We're gonna have a little more of the big ticket item this year. Obviously, I think the first quarter we really want to knock out the shape projectile. I think that's the main thing to kind of just tap it away. And then we have the two major projects we knock out. The next one is the tornado. Between the first quarter and second quarter of 2018, so we're gonna get that. And then the third quarter, hopefully either Hydra or the pistol, and then the fourth quarter, either Hydra or the pistol, one of those things. So those are four major projects that we really want to knock out in 2018. That's not include the little things that we're doing. We have two other buttstock we're working on. Hopefully be out soon. Kind of some fine tune on it, and when it's ready, we'll release them. And some of the small little projects that we're working on, but the four major projects we really want to get out of the way. Lag. Is still lag for you guys on the broadcast interrupted? Now they get interrupted.
Yeah, can you guys hear us okay? Because I don't know what's going on with this Mevo. It's saying it's connected.
Play around with this, get somebody.
Can you guys hear us? Oh, we're good? We're good? I'm not going to mess with it. We're good. Alright. Alright, if we're good, we're good. Oh no. My water bottle. John O'Grim, I saw your post earlier. I do miss talking to you guys every day in the 31 guns. But we're going to have plenty more stuff to go through. So, like you were saying, this year, I mean, it's kind of a blur now. Like, you guys are reminding me of all the stuff that we've done. Tim Hanley, I forgot to give a shout out to you, buddy. Good to see you again. Can't wait to be back out at EMR. It's going to be for Kilo, and then we're looking to come out before that, one of the bigger events. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it was a big learning experience personally. I think a lot of growth from me, KT, Valerie, and everyone here at MCS. Personally, a lot of growth. I think we learned a lot from you guys, the industry, where we need to go, essentially what we need to do. We are putting all of our time and effort into these four major projects that KT had just listed. The shape projectiles being the first one. We're looking to finish that up, get that out, and just let that run its course. And then we also have the Tornado, which is that dedicated AK-12 model. It has some new technology. Some of it's the first of its kind technology that KT had implemented as far as the design. It is super, super sweet. And I cannot wait to have that one in the arsenal. And of course, the pistol and the Hydra. Hydra and the pistol we worked on last Friday. And we're very, very close to finishing those. If not, we're pretty much done. The pistol has a little bit of work here and there, but the Hydra, I think we're pretty good. So we're just going to re-prototype that and test again, and then we will be rocking and rolling for that. So moving forward with this year, we want to have and establish a pretty solid network for the shape projectile. So I'm already working with several fields, both local and outside of our kind of niche network here in California, to lay the foundation for fields and things like that that are going to have the projectile readily available for you guys to purchase. Like I said, the only way for this projectile to grow, for the community to grow as much as possible, is for you guys to continue playing and catch the attention of the people who are interested in possibly joining this community. We've already seen day after day, both locally and hearing from my ambassadors and from you guys, that just by being in the parking lot in the staging area, dressed up, ready to go on the field, is already capturing the attention of prospective players, and guys that are interested in getting into this for a hobby. So without you guys, we cannot continue to move forward. So we look forward to working with each and every one of you guys this year, and of course the new relationships that we've been able to gather up and begin working on from last year. I'm very excited to move that on to this year. So a lot of big things, a lot of big things that me and him are extremely excited about. Can barely contain the energy, but it's all great things. We got a lot of stuff here internally that we're working on, that we're very excited to announce here in the future as well. James Duffany, the Tornado, is the standard X7 conversion kit, but we will also have the complete marker available.
Right.
So
it's lately we get a lot of calls too from local fields, asking us to give them some information on how to set up MagFed at local fields. So we're working with them on that, give them the know-how, give them the tech, we say it, how to turn their fields to support MagFed, so that way they can capture more MagFed players. And that what we've been doing lately. We have to basically give them our knowledge, information that we have, give them the loaner, rental, and all the MagFed equipment, so that way they can have equipment at the local field for new players to participate. And I think the oncoming month, with what we're doing too with the shape projectile that's coming out, we're able to support the fields a lot easier too. We have with the projectiles, it's we can get the field to participate and able to have projectile at the ready for purchase on site. That way, when you show up to a field they already have for you, you'll have to kind of purchase the projectile ahead of time. Just, hey, I need 1,000 rounds or 500 rounds, whatever quantity you need. They have right there, ready to hand it over a bag or a box to you, and you can actually just play it right there. So that's to me, that's the excitement in 2018. It's that your launcher and barrel can do so much. You also need projectile that match with your equipment to get the most out of it.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, we got, like I said, little things here that we're working on here and there that you guys will become aware of. I mean, that's the best part about this show is we get to, kind of leak information, talk to you guys directly, and you get to ask us questions. That's kind of the biggest thing. Transparency from 2017 when we first started this show. That's a big milestone too.
Right.
The show. We've done this for a year now, just about. So we want to continue that into 2018. A lot of this stuff, outside of being able to call in or come in the chat or talk to me on KT, I mean, we want to be able to offer a outlet,
right?
an outlet for you guys to come in and talk about this. When we release the Shape Projector, I'm sure there's going to be tons of questions. There's going to be lots of feedback, and that's really what we're looking for. Like we said before, these rounds are not being released and being made available to just innovate the industry, but it's also to give you guys an opportunity to shoot more of these projectiles. We're not necessarily trying to compete with FSR. We want to be able to offer you a cost-effective product that's going to give you the right amount of performance for each individual player. Obviously, I mean, FSR with the Nemesis barrel, which a lot of you guys watched that show yesterday from our brothers over at Maritime Milsim Show, the podcast there, Bradley and Tactical Tuna. David Williams was on there with Lou Arthur, and they talked about the Nemesis barrel. And that's exciting stuff right there. I mean, honestly, I'm very excited for that. We're excited to test with that barrel with our projectiles. But overall, I mean, we want to make these projectiles to basically condone the players that are already in the community. I mean, no one's going to argue that the SAR-12 and what David Williams and all them are doing for long range cannot be touched, and we know that. We were looking for the ability to, like you said, the 50, 60, 70, 80 yard range, because that's really where a lot of players are at. There's a lot of snipers out there, but there's not a lot of good snipers out there. So, that's...
And even that, you're having the equipment is one factor. You have to hone that skill.
Absolutely.
And
it's just a tool.
A tool.
And
you know what, the thing about it too, so in the environment, you have to operate differently, not just, you go aim and shoot. Your environment, you have windage, you get elevation, you get all of that, you have to adjust to get those shots. So...
You can have all the best tools in the world, but You got to know how to use them, and
Right.
that's kind of the same thing. But we want to make these projectiles are going to be for everybody, and they're going to be for every marker, and that's like I said, we just want to make it available, readily available. That's the biggest thing. Is if you have an outlet to where you can pick these up all the time, and you don't have to worry about ordering them online or waiting for stock to come back in, etc. That doesn't do you or us any good.
Right.
That doesn't help grow this community. So having these readily available and working with these field owners and stores, that's what's going to help us grow this community.
I think that's what would change MagFed, is having field and store participate into MagFed. And the only way for them to participate is having able to make some sort of financial gain from the players. Otherwise, I'm speaking to so many field owner, right? And they get, well, what is in for me for MagFed? I don't make that much per player. They come and they pay for my registration fee and they play, and they don't shoot much. Well, I can't sell them paint because I don't carry the paint, and it's really not working for them to support MagFed. That's why they love the hopper players. They come in, they buy a bag of paint, they shoot, they're done. They come buy another bag or case of paint. That's what keep their doors open, and I don't blame them. They need to keep their door open. They need to pay for their property tax. They gotta pay for their operating expense. They gotta pay for insurance. They gotta pay for employees' time, their time. I mean, cleaning up, and it's a lot of work. I mean, I used to run the field before, and it's a lot of work running the field. So I definitely think that they have the right approach. They have to think about the bottom line. Otherwise, they can't. It's not sustainable. And if it's not sustainable, they won't be around long enough. All that investment disappear for them. So I totally understand, and that's what our aim is. Our aim is to the way we package the shape rounds, we package with the field and store in mind. So that way, when you go to a field or store, they have these projectile ready for you, and able to purchase like you would buy paintball, and that's our goal.
That's what's going to help, like I said, the community as a whole. We are going to be very dedicated, me personally, very dedicated to putting in the work to get these in these areas where you guys are playing. So any help, any way for you guys to work with your field owners, let them know, like, hey, listen, there is a projectile coming. There's a projected, or an economic projectile coming that's going to help not just you, but bring more attendance into your field. That's going to be the selling point and the competitive edge that those field owners are going to want to look at.
Right.
Anytime you could say, I can bring more players to your field, that's
the
the light's going to go on, and they're going to be able to come right in.
Right.
And they're going to want to know more about that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to rely on you guys a lot to point me in the right direction, but we also, like I said, we have a solid network now of a lot of major players that are hosting very large events and have very successful fields as far as this day and age that are already on board.
Right.
We're just waiting. So this is going to be a big year for all of us guys. So we appreciate all the support that you guys gave us in 2017, and we look forward to gaining and entrusting your support for all of 2018 and further on.
Right.
So yeah, thank you guys very much. So moving forward, let's talk about the lightning bolt.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of you guys have seen this marker before. We built one. It's been about a couple months ago, right? When we auctioned off one.
2 years. I mean, so 2 months ago.
Yeah, I think we did auction off the first one of these on the show here, and it was awesome. I mean, this is one of our more prestigious builds for as far as our arsenal.
Right.
For the bolt specifically, I thought the bolt Troy is a really cool marker.
Right.
But this is badass. I mean, we got the new gap killer. This is the ergo grip for the bolt. Shape projectile ready, of course. That new lightning bolt handguard that KT designed from the ground up, which is really, really cool. It's got great texture here, not super thick, so you're able to get your hand around it.
Right.
It's got the Picatinny on both sides as well as the bottom here, so you can do a vertical, you can do a flashlight, whatever you want, and then of course the Picatinny on top. The best part about this bad boy is the ability to use any of our suppressors. That is one thing that we get on a constant basis.
Oh yeah, how do I recess
that into the, what handguards can I recess these suppressors into? And only ones that we offer are the Riz handguard, the standard Riz, quad rail Riz, which is great, but it is a little snug. So what KT did is he oversized this just enough to
Perfectly.
accommodate all 5 of our 4 or 5 MK23. This one,
up to special ops,
Reaper,
Reaper, the
Navy
SOCOM,
SOCOM, and the Navy SEAL one.
Right.
So yeah, all 5 of our suppressors go right into this handguard. So you're able to recess. There's a 10-inch lion claw on this marker, so you don't have to sacrifice with super short barrels, which is great. You can the shortest barrel that you're going to be able to get away with is the 10-inch. But if you wanted to even put, I mean, look at the OPS. That even looks badass on this thing. This looks very futuristic, something like right out of Halo. I mean, this thing is sick, and you can put a 14 or 16.
You can
probably.
do at least
Probably a 14.
No, 16.
No, it's 16. You're right. Yeah.
So right now this 10 go up to here. I would go a 14, about 16. So we kind of stick out a little bit, but
you still get
14
decent as far as flush,
yeah,
but
14 be too short.
But that's just super futuristic looking. And look at that. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, looks like a marker ahead of its time. And then of course you get that ACOG scope when you go to the website, and it's the tacamobolt.com, right?
Tacamobolt.com.
Yeah. When you guys go to that, you're going to be able to see the configurations. You can actually build this out how you want. So if you don't want the ACOG, you don't have to put that on there. If you don't want this stock, you want the tank and stock option, or you want the remote line adapter option, or you want this PDW option, you'll be able to do that, which is really, really cool. So there's many options for you guys to utilize with this build, which I like a lot. First strike ready, of course, but you have different options too. You can do barrel. You can try different muzzle brakes. Talk about that too. Did you want to show them on this?
Yeah,
or?
go check them out.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys have the option to do different muzzle brakes, so you don't have to use the suppressor if you don't want to, which is a great option. You kind of gave you guys the ability to customize this marker a little bit, starting at the $249 price point, which it competes. Is very competitive. So this is the M177.
M177, right?
Yeah. I mean, different looks. Still has a really neat look to it, but all of our muzzle brakes are compatible with this, so you can change it out. You can leave it with the standard M4 muzzle brake if you want, and then you can add, if you already have a suppressor, the OPS, anything like that, and you have the right size barrel. A5 threaded, so you got the one-shot availability, you have the line claw availability, so you have plenty of options here to customize this marker and make it your own. Whoa. Make it your own here. We got a runner. Make it your own, which is really neat. So many of these muzzle brakes have a really exciting look to all of them. So this was kind of one of those builds that me and KT kind of put together before the show, and are like, whoa, this is badass right here.
It's light. I would say without this PW stock, I would say the whole gun probably weighed about 3-4 pounds. About maybe 2 kilo. That's it. It's really, really light. And
show the mag in there.
Show a mag.
So it's got a real futuristic look. The ACOG here does have a little bit of a rise to it. You can move this forward a little bit on the Picatinny to get better eye relief. This, where I have it set right now with that PDW stock all the way back, with any mask, you'll be able to really get behind that. Like I said, this is definitely going to be one of those competitors to and options for those looking to either upgrade from a TMC or start with this. At $249 price point, you get a lot for that buck.
Well, the TMC start at $199, and you get 2 mags. So this marker start at $249. But what you get the internal air and the buttstock system for. You can do either remote line with a standard carbine stock, which is included, or you can get a little bit more if you want to do an air tank or you want to do PW stock. So a couple of different options you can get for that. I want to show real quick though. This is the handguard for it, and the way I did it is I kind of recessed this back about 2 inches this way. You have enough play to put your handguard in. It fits perfectly in there. I mean, I made a 0 play. You barely have any play there, so it's kind of really nice and fit, snug.
So we'll stabilize the barrel as well.
It doesn't really need anything
threads.
to stabilize the barrel. It will help, but it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm just saying
yeah.
there's zero play in that. Even on the Riz, that's a little too tight with some of those suppressors.
Right.
So
sometimes it'll scrape a little bit. Plus,
exactly.
And you have about 2 inches of play, so you can move back and forth based on the barrel length that you have. So say you have a 10 inches, you have to be able to go in and out 2 inches. That's the idea, because we have 2 inches length of each barrel. That made it 2 inches here, so that way you can move back and forth based on the barrel length that you have. The one thing to note though, I want to show you guys something here. The front cap of this is removable, and see how it's kind of the length right here. It's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches right here. So you can get a different cap to replace this cap, and you can lengthen your barrel a little bit here inside the tube. That way, say you have it an inch off, you can replace this cap with another front cap. You can look for it, search 22mm muzzle tip or 7/8 muzzle tip, and it will come up for you. All the tips, all the front and rear end are interchangeable. It's just a tube in the middle, so you can change to. So if you have a lappable barrel and you want to use it on this, you just buy the 7/8 muzzle tip adapter for it, and then you can put it on one of the suppressors you can use on your on your lappable barrel or your T15, all the 7/8 barrel thread. You can actually use that, and you want to go back to 22mm, which is what we use. Mulsig, MaxTac, and a few other supplier actually uses the 22mm. We'll stick with 22mm because it's already there. We've been used for a long time. We have a lot of different silencers and muzzle brake for it, so we stick with the 22mm. Give both options. Now you can buy different caps for it. They're all available. Even this right here, this suppressor, the OPS suppressor, comes with different caps for it, so it's kind of universal. We decided to make this a universal version, come with both caps rather than just do one, and that way you just buy one kit and you want everything you have.
Felix Gonzalez, that's a good point that you brought up, and that's kind of what me and KT have been talking about. We're just this year alone too. I mean, we had the Unicus. That's another thing we did this year. It's popping up here. So the Unicus line, I know it's all blurred because it goes by so fast. Right. But the Unicus line, we found out that we can customize these markers and create something that's a little outside of the box. It's also allowing you guys and prospective players to spark the imagination a little bit. A lot of people look at the basic Volt, the Blizzard, Vortex, and they're like, yeah, that doesn't look like very much. Right. But then they go and they look at the same marker, but they look at a different build, and they're like, well, how do I make it that? Well, can I make it with this, without that? And then you start customizing. You realize it's the same marker. It's just the accessories and the cosmetics are different. And that's one thing that I know at MCS that we have over everyone in the industry is that customizability. The ability for you guys to take something, a basic platform, take the core and be like, you know what, I want this handguard with this buttstock, with this magazine sleeve, and then this barrel length with this muzzle brake. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it's kind of hard, even on our website, and even with a gun customizer like we had on the RAP4 website, to envision and allow our customers to envision exactly what it would be, especially now that we are going through accessories and bringing new stuff in and trying new stuff. With such a high turnover rate, it's very difficult to implement that into the system, which is why we don't have a gun builder anymore. It's very difficult to do. It's very costly. But allowing you to do this within the gun package like you can now, you can customize that within that marker package, which is really, really great. Really great. And like I said, it allows you guys to make it your own. Nothing is worse than going to a field and everyone having the same gun. That doesn't really stand for much. But
that's what I'm saying. That a lot of times where players and especially other supplier, really try to fight us off by being the only one. But you know what? The industry cannot support that. You gotta have more than one platform, more than one supplier. So there's enough variation in on the playing field. You can have everybody just using all our guns or all T15 or all Milsig guns. It doesn't work like that. It gets bored really quick. It gets flat, and then there's not much excitement going on, and it just fizzes out.
It's not gonna. That's not gonna grow the community.
It doesn't.
I mean, honestly, with all the options out there now,
Right.
I mean, you look at it. We can go to a game here locally, and we can see 50, 60 players, and each and every one of them have a different gun. Like that, very
Different
rarely,
setup.
different
Yeah.
setup.
No,
But
the same-
I mean,
same gun,
same
right?
gun,
Yeah.
same gun, but different setup. But I'm just
Right.
saying the variety is
Right.
there. Like we'll see. Every game that I've been to this year, I've seen one person with at least, or one player with at least one of our guns,
Right.
with their own configuration.
Right.
I very rarely see even the pre-built configurations that people buy. I mean, they very rarely stay that configuration for very long. Most of you guys buy it, play a game with it, and be like, oh, no, I like this. I'm going to change this. And then within a week, it's got 2 more new accessories that didn't come on it originally. So the customizability is really where we're headed here in the future, with the builds, especially giving you guys the opportunity to customize your marker and make it your own. That is what is going to allow you guys to be more, I guess you could say, more acceptable of your purchase, and then as well as allowing you guys to stand out and offer that imagination to new players that are possibly entering into the community as well.
There, someone was asking earlier whether the suppressor can recess into the Troy handguard. It doesn't. The biggest, I would say, the only muzzle tip that can go into the Troy handguard, that's the biggest one, that's Noveski Sound on Fire. Other than that, the
Yeah, but
basic,
even that, I think isn't it a little. Is
no,
it a
still,
scratch?
it's still a little bit not.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
gotta-
give that much space for it. So
You can, what do you call that?
Hone it out a little?
Hone it out a little bit. because there
customization,
are-
right?
Yeah,
If
customization.
yeah, customization. If you want to do it, of course, customization can do it for you, but it's not out the box. That's something to think about when you picked up a Troy handguard, or you want to recess the suppressor into the handguard. Not Bear PB, my custom built Peter really meant a lot. Welcome, Brian.
Yeah, very, that's good, buddy. I'm glad that you enjoy that, and I hope it's capturing the attention of a lot of those guys
Right.
out there you play with.
Yeah, that's one of the things we did recently, is offering the custom engraving to a few of the players. It's just kind of a personal touch from us, so that way you can have something to have that has your signature on it. If you like those customization, just let us know. We'll put it in for you. So if you buy the magwell, we can actually just select the option, and you send us the artwork that you have, and we'll put it in for you. A lot of times you guys email me just a picture or something. We have to digitize that, so it's going to cost a little money. I have to pay an artist to digitize for you, turn it into vector format. It can be done, so you have something you want to be inspired to put onto the marker. We can do it for you, but like I said, it's going to cost a little bit of artistic work on it. So we'll let you know. So anything you want to put on, we can do it.
Stan Dillard, no, I got an Apple Watch for Christmas, so I get the chats and everything on here. Neil Adams, please shave that pedo stash, dude. What is? I'm not shaving this thing. I trim it, but I'm not shaving this thing. Don't worry, I'm not hanging outside the schools or nothing. I'm always here. Let's see here. Stormtrooper gun. We actually have 2 of those remaining. Are they still on the site?
We have one on the site. We have 2 units that are less than perfect. The body a little bit scratched. If you guys want that, let us know. Just message Jonathan or myself. Let us know you want a scratch, less than perfect Stormtrooper, and we'll get you a deal on that. But we don't want to sell less than perfect as they are. So the one on the site, we have one last unit left. It's kind of a production level, but we have 2 units that we kind of messed up when we put together, or we transport it per se. But it's not just this paint job is not immaculate, so we just let you know. If you guys wanted one of those, we do have it, but actually we have one left.
John Miles, yeah. Like I said, if I let it grow out, I have this is all red and blonde hair, so it only shows up on the camera red, and it does look a lot thinner than it is. But in real life, it's a lot fuller. But I don't like to grow it out, because then it goes over my lip, and I don't like that. So Yeah, I'm not. Don't worry, I'm not shaving it. Nightmare PB. Will MCS carry more lightweight handguard options? Yes, sirree. We have had
the best one we have right now. Nightmare is the Blade handguard. It's about 9-ounce handguard. Those are amazing. So we have a 9 inches and a 12 inches. 9 inches about 9 ounces, and then you have I think the 12 inches about 9, 11, 12. It's real light. I mean, you're talking about like a quarter of a third of a kilo, so it's duper light. You can't go around with one of those.
Oh man, you're
he's growing.
You're killing it right now.
Yeah, he's growing for SHOT Show.
Reverse Hitler stash on camera. That's a little far fetched.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've got I've been telling KT this for a while about the handguards and how we need to really replenish and upgrade. And we've been, in the past like 7 months, we've really fine-tuned what we're doing and trying to dial in and tap into the firearms world. And that's kind of, me and him are constantly scouring that kind of stuff so we can bring that into our industry and really see how we can definitely put it into our markers. So that's one thing.
John Miles said, of course, the camera at 5 pounds. Of course. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Blade, Jeff, the Blade, you can get the M-Log version or the Keymod version. I mean, that's probably the best handguard we have right now. Really easy to put together, to come with a set of shims, so you can adjust it properly to your marker. It's probably the go-to handguard right now that we have. Once we have some of the older one we have some of the old Noveski, we have some of the older Troy, we have some of the other ones. So I forgot the one from APS. Some of the older ones we have. We just built guns right now, put in a lobby, and get rid of all the old ones, and then stick with the new Blade handguards and the Crown Arms series handguard. Those are pretty good. So.
Let's see. Peter Prokop, do you have any tips to make the Bolt air and stock version more air efficient? They only seem to get about 2 mags. There's something wrong with your gun, my friend. 2 mags, that's not good.
2 mags, that's a little bit low, unless you have really a poor, you have a leak somewhere. But I have never seen a bolt that can take only 2 mags.
Yeah.
So,
contact me, man.
Yeah.
We'll get you sorted out with that.
Right.
That's way.
And
I mean, the average I'm seeing is at least 7. Like close.
No. Bolt average about 4 to 5 mags. Okay.
I've seen people get. Well, it depends on the barrel and the projectiles that you're firing.
On these right here, I would say that I don't want to offer promise too much, but if you get a solid 5 mags, you're good on the bolt on these systems. You get beyond that, that's pretty well tuned, but you get like 5 solid magazines. That's about 120 shots. You're good on the Bolt Blizzard Vortex system. And the 468, the system a little more tight fit as far as construction goes, so you get a little bit more of efficiency. You get average about 7 magazines, so about 140 shots, 150 shots, somewhere around there. Some it would tune up to 9 mags to 10 mags, but an average, like I said, about 5 mags on this system. You can tell when these are like the AK-47 of markers, right? The way that it's constructed is it's, I would say the tolerance is low, but the tolerance is kind of high, so that way the part can move freely. But at the same time, it gives also lose air, lose efficiency when it comes to shooting. I mean, shot per tank goes. So, but 5 mags, you're on the money.
The Blade, there is a 7-inch option, Nightmare PB. I don't think we brought any of those in, but I think we can get those. We have had actually quite a few requests for that.
7?
Yeah, for the 7. Because they want it shorter for CQB.
Oh, really?
It looks good. It looks really good. The problem is, you're going to have to use a shorter barrel for that, because that's going to be, right now, we cap out at 12 inches, because that with the muzzle brake is about 14. So we can get those.
Or get
shorter.
the 9, use a hacksaw, hack it off a few inches, and you're good to go.
There you go.
Customize.
Let's see here. Thank you, Peter Prokop. Neil Adams. Okay, all jokes aside, what attachment would you recommend for running a T15 with a remote line? In regards to what? I mean, accessories, or are you looking to maximize your stock? I mean, what are you talking about as far as accessories?
If you guys looking to accessory, the first thing that you probably want to do is some sort of handguard. If you want to upgrade the handguard, that's the first thing you do. Look around for a handguard that matches your vision, and then second to that is find something attachment on the handguard. That way you can accessorize the way that you look. So those are the 2 things that you probably do if you want to change the look of the rifle. Next, if you want to do better, improve performance, then the barrel. Depends what you're shooting. So if you want to ask more questions, get on chat and we'll answer those questions for you, or just shoot us an email. We'll take care of you.
A lot of the stuff that I've been seeing, I mean, even in the T15 owners group, and even some of the Milsig stuff, and then of course our markers and things, I'm seeing a lot of people compact the stock. There's the UTG S4, which I did a Unicus gun with that. It was actually the CQB one that I did, the Chubby, and it had that that S4 stock, which is actually, it's a buffer tube stock, but it covers the top of the buffer tube and only has an angled, like a minimalistic type look, like the Mission First Tactical type stocks. Those are very popular right now in the military world and the real steel world. And then I'm seeing a 9 to even 12-inch handguard of many variations with a probably 11-inch barrel with a longer muzzle brake that is slightly recessed into it. A lot of you guys have seen the John Wick series.
And we need to put that John Wick up on the site.
And we've done also the...
and you didn't show the John Wick buttstock last week, did you?
John Wick buttstock?
Yeah, the kit. I remember they showed the upper and lower, but you never really showed the buttstock that comes with the rifle.
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, it was. I put the tank and stock version with the MTA.
MTA.
The black.
Okay, I'm talking about the remote line version with the little buttstock we got in for John Wick.
The MF. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't. Okay. Well, we're gonna need to do a shooting video tomorrow on that. We're gonna do the shooting video tomorrow for that. If it's not raining.
It's not raining. It's kind of pouring down.
I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm seeing a lot of that. A lot of people want that longer front handguard, but they can compact the stock and not make the overall length of the marker
like
any
the
bigger.
LVOA kind of.
Yeah, the Lavoa. Even the there's some Salient Arms versions. Falcor is making some guns like that, but they all have that longer handguard with a smaller stock, and it keeps that overall length of a standard M4A1, which is really cool. Yeah. So I think moving forward, especially with our PDW stocks, the new handguards that we have, we can experiment a little bit more with that, but it allows you guys to not have to sacrifice using that 8 and 10-inch barrel, where you can get away with that 12 or 14, but have a muzzle brake that recesses into the handguard. Still allows you to get into those CQB platforms, clear rooms, do a little bit more maneuverability through the field, but not have that super long setup where it's kind of bulky and kind of awkward.
Yeah, Jamie was asking whether the Vortex and the Hurricane, actually John Miles will answer. Yeah, they don't use the same engine, Jamie. Vortex kind of A5, and the Hurricane uses the Chipman Phenom spool valve, so it's a totally different. But later on though, this year we kind of group all the engine together, so the Blizzard, the Bolt, and the Vortex all use the same engine. So we kind of use the braided hose, the drop-down braided hose version uses the same valve, and then all the internal air version uses the same valve. So we kind of consolidate this year, make it one valve. It's easier for us to service, and when you guys need help, we actually carry one valve rather than having multiple valves. So we're changing that. Realize that actually the same valve can be used on the Tornado too. So like I said, we're able to support a lot easier when we have the same valve. So there'll be just two versions, the internal air version and the external air version, but it's just the same valve. All the internal parts are the same. It's gonna will be great for us when it comes to serviceability.
Neil Adams, there's actually a stock on our website, the CTS stock, that has a somewhat U-shaped kind of configuration, and it's rubber texturized, so it allows you to actually shoulder the weapon like on top of the shoulder as well as bring it in. We're out of the black ones. I just have to place an order for more of those.
We should be in. Yeah, I just put an order in, so it should be in about.
Oh, did you place one for those?
Oh, okay, next week. Yeah, so mid next week should be in.
So we'll have those, and that's a great option for what you're looking for. Those are super comfortable. They have that rubber texturing, and they're great construction too. We've got a lot. We've been selling a lot of those.
Right, they're doing really well.
Talking about your PTR, if I buy another gun anytime soon, my career will boot me. We were actually somebody. I don't know if you're watching. Let me know, but. I was talking to somebody on the phone, and he's like, "You guys should make a patch that says paintball ruined my marriage." And I was like, "I have a really good idea for that." So I don't know. Maybe in the future we might do something like that. I mean, that's super funny. It's like it's a thing that we have to deal with all the time. A lot of you guys, James Davis called me and be like, "Oh man, I shouldn't really be talking to you on the phone." And I feel like that commercial, Jake from State Farm.
Right.
You know?
Who you talk to?
You talk to 3 o'clock in the morning. The only thing I'm missing are the khakis, honestly, and the fact that I don't sell insurance. But anyway, I mean, that's like one of the funniest things that we get all the time. And you know, this is something where we're actually seeing a lot more female players get involved with MagFed, which is really cool. So
I think it's more exciting and fun because they don't have. I mean, it's more. You have to use your strategy a little bit more, but the shooting, you don't have to run your finger as much. So I think a lot more strategic when you're playing MagFed. John Miles, he's right that Hurricane is the best.
Probably one of the
secret.
best kept secret in MagFed. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much foolproof. And full as in FOOL proof. There's very little to do as far as maintenance.
Right.
I mean, everything is in that core. It doesn't have the most upgradability as far as like some of the other kits, but it's internal. The spool valve that it runs off of, that blow forward system, extremely air efficient. As far as a performer out there, I mean, the only thing you should be worried about or that you should be focusing on as far as upgrades is that barrel and the projectile that you're firing.
But as far as like operational wise, it's solid. I mean, easy to use. I love the lock bolt, how it's reset itself and let you know to reload. That's one of our number one marker when we kind of get players to transition from tournament ball into MagFed. So we've been really successful at that, getting those markers out to players when they're trying to transition from hop to the MagFed.
That's a great thing. I think we see a lot more now, especially with my ambassadors. There was a guy I met at Kilo 69. He had 5 Hurricanes.
Really?
He was obsessed. In a good way, obviously. He had 5 Hurricanes, all different configurations and all different looks. He had brought them all in his case, and he throughout the day would just change out his tank and then go play with it.
Wow.
And he just loved how easy it was to use, its efficiency, and then its performance when you're dialing it in for those projectiles. It's a performer. I can definitely say it's a wonderful performer. Easy to clean, easy to take it apart. I mean, you can take the whole thing apart just like in 2 minutes, put it back together, and boom, you're out on the field. Exactly. John Miles, great information there. Yeah, there's a lot of body kits for that. I mean, the Hurricane and inexpensive right now with Tippmann getting rid of all the Phenom series. All the accessories are like so inexpensive. So you guys looking for a build like that? That's be perfect. And I heard the other day somebody got like $60 for a Phenom off of eBay too. So just off of some pawn shop that was auctioning off. So good find. I mean, when I made the Hurricane the Hurricane Scar, that was one of like I was like. By the way, talking about that, we only have 3 units left in stock. We just ordered the last batch from Tippmann. They only sent us like a handful of the Scar kits. So there's only 4 kits left, and that's it. After they're gone,
that marker is
discontinued it,
discontinued. So.
Pretty bummed about that because, like I said, I made that and I was like, we had the body kits in the lobby for like years, and I was like, how do we get rid of this? And I was like, oh, I'm gonna put it on the Hurricane, and then boom, we just started. Made 5, sold out, and now we've been making them ever since.
Sold out.
Now Tippmann's sold out and it's gone forever.
Right.
So if you guys want that Hurricane Scar, get that before it's gone because I'm gonna be sad to see that one go. I think that was a really cool thing. And every player that I knew purchased it has always got a positive feedback on the field. Like, hey, how did you get that? Because a lot of people forget about that. John Miles, that all those body shrouds that Tippmann made for the Phenom, people always forget about that, and they actually, even worse is the Hopper players that use the Phenom still forget about that. So,
and a lot of players, in the last 5 years or so, we lose our paintball lost a lot of players, scenario players, the woodsball player. Those guys just went, just disappeared, and they're gone. And a lot of them are slowly coming back, and as they discover MFW, but majority of the players, I would say like 80% of the woodsball player, the scenario players, they just disappeared. I guess the economy took a dive, or they got married, or they growed up or something, but all of a sudden and that's why all these big events like Oklahoma D-Day, they used to have like 10,000 players. Now last year they have 3 or 4, around 3,000 or 4,000 players. So you're talking about they lost like 70% of players. And so other events. I understand, other events are growing. Envision Normandy is growing. They have record this year. They used to have 2,000. I heard this year they have like 4,000 players. So kudos. We definitely be repeat for us at Invasion Normandy. That's definitely be there this year. So like the other events are growing, but somehow those guys there. They're slowly coming back, though, for MFW.
Douglas Gloff asked, what was the length of the bore size of the Lion Claw? It would be the 687 all the way through. So, depending on the length of barrel that you get, it would be that length there. I hope that answered your question. What's going to happen when the Hurricane, once they're officially discontinued?
From what I heard, this is what's going on. Tippmann going to continue to supply the parts for another 5 years, so it's not been a year yet, but 4 more years to go. I'm hoping in about year 3 or year 4, we kind of finish up most of our major project and we can start working on making a core for it. We took over CMI. CMI has a marker called the SL2000. You guys go ahead and Google it, SL2000 or Diablo. About 10 years ago, it was never really took off. So we took over the marker. We have the drawing. We have the patent for the valve in there. So we'd actually reverse engineer that with the component we have, with the know-how that was given to us, and we actually can put that into the Phenom. We've been talking about since we took over CMI, but just life getting away, other project getting away is not important at the moment. That's why we want to knock out the major project this year. You get the tornado, right? Gotta get the X7 Classic back into circulation. Gotta have an AK-47. Gotta have an F4 marker out in the field, and then we gotta have the shape rounds. I mean, the rounds gotta have that. And without rounds, come on, right? Magazine, gotta have the hydrants, and gotta have high capacity magazine, and gotta have a pistol. So those are the 4 things that we really want to knock out the park in 2018. That's our focus. If we happen to get it done sooner, then we'll able to put our resources into making the valve for the Phenom. The Hurricane. But if not, then we still have a few more years left to work on it. But hopefully we're able to do that, and we transition that valve into other bodies as well. But we'd like to see that happening soon.
Yeah, I think. The AK-12, I'm excited for that one. I mean, just from what I know, watching him design that from the ground up, and it finally being in the mold stage now, that's a marker of the future. The AK-12 is the new Kalashnikov, essentially. It's very futuristic looking. It's very tactical looking. It's very aggressive looking. And I think that's an excellent marker to introduce into the MagFed world to offer that variety. I mean,
we need that variety.
Yeah,
like
we need
that
variety.
Right?
I mean, it's we're, like I said, we're probably 3 years behind the airsoft world as far as variety,
if not more.
Yeah, if not more. I mean, that's saying the least. But I mean, either way, we don't need to. We're not trying to compete with that industry. But I mean, we really need to amp up that variety. More realistic builds, more realistic options available is really what's going to be the converter from airsofters to MagFed paintball, as well as the players that are looking to get into a hobby like this. They're going to want to see variety. I mean, if the market continues to saturate itself with AR platforms, we're not doing ourselves a favor, honestly. It is a lot more difficult from a design perspective to implement into different varieties, but if we pick and choose and be a little bit specific, we can do that. And that's kind of where we're headed in the future here. Once we get these projects out, KT can get back into the R&D area and start really thinking about, all right, what can we do and how can we do it?
We have 3 more guns that have been on the table for a long time, but we just don't have the time to kind of finish it. We have the G36 that's designed and ready to go, but I have to go in there and kind of finalize every single component, make sure they're good. We have a SCAR, FN SCAR. We have that built. Got to finalize every single product. We have the Bullpup Masada, not the Macro Masada, but kind of built off of that, drawn but just never finished it. So, like I said, we could only pick and choose certain projects to be knocked out at one time. Like I said, I already told you guys the next 4 projects for this year. That you want to say it again. The tornado, the shape round, the pistol, and the Hydra. That's if we can accomplish that in 2018. You know what? We're gonna have ourselves a big celebration. So let alone touching those other projects. But we do have them. Like I said, we have projects up for the next 5 years, and we can't finish them all just because we don't have a clone machine and we cannot clone ourselves and do more. We're crank out so many hours in a day. So definitely we have a couple of different projects that we want to finish, but we are still on the board. I think I showed you guys the other day too. We have the stand that's on the shelf right there. I've been testing it for a while, but like I said, it's not important right now to. It's not the product that will grow the sport. What's important, we need to make a product that grows sport. That's why I'm so focused on getting the X7 Classic conversion kit back, because I know there are million units of those out there right now sitting in the closet. We want to bring those markers back to circulation. And without projectile, well, we're going to shoot, right? You can't grow. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. You guys are already saying it. There's a lot of John Miles looking for World War II inspired weapons.
Right.
I mean, or markers.
Right. It's Pacific. We're gonna build in the future just Pacific build, not like AR-15. We're gonna pick and choose some of the most popular firearms models, and then we're gonna build on top of that to get the most realistic feel and more realistic action from as possible. Front charging handle. On the SCAR, the side charge handle is kind of reciprocating too, so you rack it back and bring it fire. It's just like a real deal. So we want to replicate as much of those little details as possible, and because we're able to do that right now. What we've done in the past is just make markers for have enough variety, have enough units out there to get the game going. But now I think we already done that. And other manufacturers will get on board. So now we're able to go back and do Pacific one, to build the model that we're proud of and we want to do, not because we need to do it, because we want to build those models, we want to put those features in, and able to make good things from it. And that's original. That's original. Our plan, which Omar planned when we 110% here, but as things kind of move on, but we're still on it.
I mean, you look at where airsoft's headed now. They're starting to put HPA paintball engines into an airsoft gun, and they think that's turn of the century stuff. But
they want performance.
They want performance out of their stuff, and that's kind of where that's headed. I mean, we're seeing more. First Strike just released their I think it's like a $700, $800 airsoft gun with a 13 cubic inch tank on it. It's a T15, or it's basically a First Strike T15 with a HPA engine in it.
And Tippmann,
Tippmann
has
the same thing.
Tippmann has their marker there, except
Falcon has one too.
they're coming out.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet. We're still focused on paintball. Hopefully one of these days can join them and be part of airsoft. But I think our strength is in the sport, into the paintball sport, into the 68 cal projectile. I personally think a lot more fun being hit with a 68 cal. The impact is there, make me afraid of step out. Make me cautious. I don't know. Make me cautious a lot more than having to play airsoft. So that's until we kind of reach to the level that we want to be, then we start working on other things. But we have so many projects we want to finish.
Oh man, we didn't do an auction today.
We're gonna get to well, next week we kind of get into we get a little bit too into it this week, so we'll
make it up to you guys next week.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. The Cam 870 Airsoft guys are buying FS now. I've been brainwashing that group.
Good job.
Keep the awesome job on the MagFed paintball. Yeah, Vito, we're like I said, our primary focus is the 68 cal. I mean, we have not reached our potential here in the MagFed world at all. And I think when we release the projectile, we're going to go through some more of a grand plan that we have that we want to share with you guys, and really where we're headed with it. Like I said, it's not just we don't just have to think of like right now. We have to think about how these projects are going to impact the future, and how they're going to either grow this community to where it's going to make it better or easier for us to continue that innovation, or if it's going to be a product that does well for a month and then something else comes out and then it goes on to the
that'll
next.
Be tough for any supplier to keep up, right?
Exactly. So we really have to put all the time necessary, all the effort, resources, everything into these projects to make sure that they're going to be done correctly first off, and then are going to be worthwhile for you guys and are going to last. I mean, we don't want to release a product that's already a saturated market. That doesn't make sense from a business standpoint, an economic standpoint, or even just common sense standpoint. So just keep that in mind, guys. Like, a lot of you guys have been waiting for these projects for a long time, and we know that
too.
Yeah, I mean, we know that. But if you look at it, I mean, we've talked about it, me and him, several times. Where when we released the box mag, it was a great product, but at the time,
I was so excited when that was released. I mean, that's what my dream is, to release a box mag, able to have a MagFed markers that compete against Hopper, but it was too early for its time. A lot of paintball wasn't there. The paintball quality was not enough, and people putting tournament paintball into a box mag. Of course, the integrity of the shell wasn't strong enough, so it turned into a blender.
The Ninja Pro blender was built off of our old box mag.
Paintball was size. I mean, people just drop paintball into the thing without knowing what size of paintball they've been used, and when it get to the feet neck, it's over bigger than the feet neck, so the ball would not exit the feet neck. And the feet neck was made .72, and on a normal basis it's fine, but you have a paintball that that is swollen a little bit, and the turn on the side become like a .73, .74. It gets stuck, and it's I think if we have the box mag right now in its current state, and with the knowledge and experience of the play, with the amount of support that play knows how to use new MagFed, I think it will be fine. I think
Absolutely.
Can keep going, but it's been a while. We're trying to restart do the same one. We can't do it. The tool is lost. It's been so long, been like almost 5-6 years, so it's scattered everywhere. So we have to redo it. And like I said, I mentioned a couple of times, I want to do a shorter version, not the 250 rounds, but kind of like the 140 version, half the length, half the weight. You can actually reload the middle of the field, a little bit smaller, more modular. That's one of the projects we're working on, but it's not like a main focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I said, those types of products, you look back on a lot of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, the knowledge wasn't there, and then on top of that, the consumer base wasn't there. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, we still are a business, and we can't just make a product for 300 people.
Right.
That's not a wise choice.
Right.
So in order for us to make this a viable product and to be able to grow from it, essentially, we need to make sure that the community, the sport as a whole, is at a certain point where we know that if we put this in front of new players as well as existing players, they're going to be influenced to join that existing player group. Right now, we've got that. I mean, we are getting new players every week, every day, coming in and be like, I'm getting into MacFed, what do I get? I just got a conversion kit, all this stuff. So
that's right. I mean, his goal is to get 100K sub.
Exactly,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, halfway there, right? Halfway there. So that there it is. Pretty cool. All right, guys. We're gonna wrap things up a little bit. We hit about an hour. We'll try and keep the show about an hour.
Yeah.
We love to go on beyond that, but you know we're running out of stuff to talk about next week. Definitely though. A lot of people asking when Shape Round will be ready. If you guys get to a website and you see a countdown timer on the site, you know that the time is near. So
be ready for that.
Be ready for that. So when you go to our site and you see the timer clicking every second, you know, countdown, that's when you know that we're ready for it.
And we will be releasing media material. Trust me, and KT, if I could move my desk to the shipping gate, I would.
Oh yeah.
Do not worry about that.
Yeah.
We will keep you guys informed of this all day.
I think about a week or two we do next production samples. So let's see how those turn out. And as soon as we perfect the shell, perfect the process, we'll give you updated. Like I said, there's some adjustment we have to make. Where I think we have the material down. I think this is the good choice of material due for the cost. Our goal is not to make a round, right? Just to return. Our goal is not to make any round. Our goal is to make a projectile that inexpensive, that's good, and we have a consistency shot about 50 to 60 yards, a mid-range projectile that hit a 4-inch target consistently every shot. That's our goal, and cost between 10 to 15 cents per shot. That's our goal. We'll try to beat it, but this is that's what we focus on. And if we can bring that to the table, bring it to the sport, where we have achieved what we set out to do. And that's just step one, right? Step one is to achieve that, and then we build on top of that as we go. But if we cannot achieve that 10 to 15 cents per shot and not able to achieve the 50, 60 yards, 4-inch group, I don't think you guys are going to be able to want this product in the first place, and we might as well focus on something else. And we're going to take our time to make sure we get it right?
Yeah, Jamie, they'll work in every mag. Without, like I said, the inconsistencies, the main focus of this projectile was to make sure that they're the most consistent round to round, and that is what we're able to achieve. No flashing, no force multipliers, none of that stuff. The round itself actually doesn't even come in contact with our hammerhead barrel. Actually, the foam drive band that's on this is actually what catches that rifling, and you allow the barrel to perform that trajectory for that projectile. It allows it to basically conjure that spin to give it that trajectory as it exits the barrel. So, like I said, a lot of the questions that were asked on the earlier episodes, refer back to those, because we did answer a lot of questions, some silly, some not so silly, but I mean, there's a lot of questions asked. Like I said, this product is definitely going to it's going to be a door opener for this community, for not just you guys, the revolving door for you guys, but a new door for new players, and that's what we're trying to get to.
Yeah, a lot of players want to get into the sport, but a certain thing about it just kind of shy them away. First, the distance, the accuracy, the equipment itself, but with this projectile, you're able to answer a lot of that. Plus the environment, you're able to play in any environment, hot, cold, wet, doesn't matter. The projectile is impervious to the environment. Extreme environment. Yeah. Extreme hot, extreme cold.
Yeah, if you're going to go play in a volcano, you're probably not going to be using these projectiles.
Extreme, right?
Yeah, and that's the key word there, guys. Extreme weather conditions.
Right.
Damon, email me, man. But yeah, I have been getting back on the ambassador stuff. I've been slowly reaching back out to some of the guys that I had on hold before the holiday season. When things start slowing down, we're going to start updating that area.
Right.
But We will see you guys next week. That's all I got.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you on the video. Take care.